Faithful Sidekicks. Today I'm going to talk to you about a game that I absolutely adore called the Quacks of Quedlinburg. This game is kind of a bigger game. It's by Wolfgang Warsch, designer, and put out by North Star Games, and it won the Kennerspiel des Jahres for 2018. That means strategy game for 2018, which is a huge deal. This game is a competitive game where you're trying to push your luck to make the most complicated and involved recipe you can for the snake oil you're trying to con the townspeople into buying from you. So everyone starts with the same bag of ingredients, and most of them are not going to be to your benefit per se. There will be the cherry blooms or cherry bombs, because you get too many of these in your potion, the whole thing explodes. So you will be taking ingredients from your bag one at a time and placing them on your board. The components of this game are all just normal cardboard pieces. We paid extra to have someone 3D print us plastic outlines to make them more. So that in the bag they feel more substantial as you're trying to pull them out. That's how much we like this game. We spend extra just to jazz up the pieces a little bit. There will be a number on each one of your pieces, 1 through 4, and that's how many spaces forward you put that one. And then you decide, are there too many cherry blooms in my potion? If so, I better stop, because if I get one more cherry bloom, oh no, my potion's gonna explode. If you get over 7 points worth of cherry blooms, that's when it explodes. If not, if you decide that it's still worth the risk, you pull out another one and you count that number of spaces forward. And oh my goodness, you do start with something besides cherry blooms in here. Yay, I got an orange. That one's not gonna worry about exploding. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm gonna stop right there, because that is as much. If I draw another cherry bloom, this whole thing explodes. Here's the deal. Even when you explode, you still get benefits. But you're going to be walking through all these different things. Who got the farthest on their track, because it's a spiral track on here. Who got the farthest on their track? That person gets to roll the bonus die. Yay, I get a bonus of 2 points. The scoring track around here. And then you go through each of these steps to figure out what, if anything, you're getting. And the very last thing is money to spend on new ingredients to go in your bag, which means that the ratio won't be as high to cherry blooms. There's a lot of other elements, like for instance, which type you want to buy will make a difference, because each one works differently. For instance, reds get a benefit if you draw it after you've played an orange. So I would normally place it just the 1, because this is 1. It would actually go an extra space, which gets me farther on my track. If you have a black, that actually gets you a bonus that helps you improve do better in later rounds. It's basically this little red gem, and if you have a couple of those, you can do things to improve your standing on your board by spinning them. The blue ones let you put whites. If let's say I pulled this out, I get to actually then look at the next two. Since that's a 2, I get to look at the next 2 tokens and decide if I want either of them. No, I don't. So, and each one works differently. And these boards tell you how they work, and there's different options on those, which gives replayability to the game. There's also a wonderful mechanism they've included to help if you've just done poorly the first couple rounds, you've exploded, so you've had money to spend but no XP, or you've been getting XP but no money. There's this, on the score track, there are all these little rats, and their tails cross the track, and however many rat tails are between you and the leader, if you're not the leader, you actually get to have a one-time bonus of 2 in this case, because there's 2 rat tails between me and the leader. And that means that I'm farther along on my track as I start laying my ingredients down. You also have your droplet that tells you how far you are along your track to begin with at the start of each round, and that can be improved. There's also other elements that give you one-time benefit, or you can use more of the gems to buy back the usefulness of it to do it again. So there's a lot of elements in here. So there's a lot to keep you going. In fact, there's also the more involved board, which gives you other bonuses that you can earn along the way. This track on the bottom. Or you can play the more basic, here's how you learn the game board, which I have loved. I've played it several times and loved that version. So there's a lot of replayability because there's variability in the game. There's also, each round, cards. The fortune teller deck. So each round, 1 card is flipped up, and it often helps either the person in last place or it helps everybody. And again, another element that you don't know which card's coming up, so you don't know what element is going to be most important to you at a given moment. So all that to say, there's a lot of different elements in this game, a lot of different bits and pieces, so there is setup and teardown time. But it's all worth it because all of these different elements work together to give you a really interesting game. Even though the individual choices are never going to be overwhelming you. You're not trying to decide all the things at once. At one moment, you're just deciding, do I pull the next ingredient out of my bag or do I stop here? And the different elements, like 2 different options on how what player boards you're using, the different options on how the ingredients work, make for a lot of replayability. And while it is not actually difficult to teach, there is enough to keep you coming back to the game. So highly recommend it. I love this one. The Quacks of Quedlinburg.
Doctor, doctor, cure me. Doctor, doctor, cure me. Doctor, doctor, cure me from this humdrum